Welcome guys to our new video, The Great Upheaval, delving into the causes and far-reaching consequences of World War I. World War I, also known as the Great War, was a global conflict that raged from 1914 to 1918, involving numerous nations pitted against each other in a devastating display of military might. It marked a turning point in world history, profoundly shaping the political, economic, and social landscapes of the 20th century. In this video, we will embark on a journey to delve into the causes that precipitated the onset of this cataclysmic event and explore the far-reaching consequences it had on the world. From the intricate web of alliances and imperial ambitions to the spark that ignited the war, we will examine the multifaceted factors that contributed to the eruption of hostilities on an unprecedented scale. The consequences of World War I were extensive and enduring, extending far beyond the conflict's conclusion. This global upheaval transformed political systems, territorial boundaries, and social norms, leaving a lasting impact on nations and individuals alike. We will investigate the immediate consequences, such as the staggering death toll and the physical devastation caused by the war's relentless and brutal nature. Additionally, we will delve into the broader and longer-term consequences that fundamentally reshaped the geopolitical landscape, including the dissolution of empires, the redrawing of national borders, and the rise of nationalist sentiments and revolutionary movements. Through a comprehensive analysis, this video seeks to shed light on the causes and aftermath of World War I, ultimately unraveling the complex tapestry of events that forever altered the course of history. Tensions and rivalries among European powers. The assassination of Archduke Franz Ferdinand. The alliance system and the domino effect. Industrialization and militarization of nations. The worldwide impact of World War I. Tensions and rivalries among European powers. Tensions and rivalries among European powers prior to World War I were instrumental in the eruption of the conflict and had far-reaching consequences that reshaped the global order. At the turn of the 20th century, Europe was experiencing rapid industrialization, technological advancements, and an intense scramble for territories and overseas colonies. In this context, tensions arose as nations sought to protect their interests, leading to an intricate web of alliances and rivalries. One of the primary sources of tension was the arms race between major powers, fueled by the belief that military strength was crucial for maintaining dominance and deterring potential adversaries. Germany, under Kaiser Wilhelm II, embarked on an ambitious naval expansion program, seeking to challenge the naval supremacy and imperial ambitions of Great Britain. This naval rivalry escalated tensions between the two nations and drove them further towards an arms race that strained their economies and intensified mistrust. Additionally, territorial disputes and rivalries over colonies exacerbated the tensions among the European powers. The scramble for Africa had reached its peak in the late 19th century, resulting in fierce competition for control over African territories rich in resources. This scramble often pitted Germany, France, and Britain against each other, with their ambitions clashing in areas such as Morocco and Sudan. These disputes placed additional strains on diplomatic relations and fueled nationalistic sentiments. The complex system of alliances further contributed to the rivalries and tensions among European powers. The formation of the Triple Entente comprising France, Russia, and Britain in 1907 aimed to counterbalance the growing power of Germany. On the other hand, Germany, Austria-Hungary, and Italy formed the Triple Alliance, which was primarily a defensive alliance directed against the Triple Entente. With these alliances in place, any conflict between two nations could potentially spark a wider conflagration due to the obligation of allies to defend one another. Nationalism was another potent source of friction among European powers, particularly in the Balkans region. The Balkan nations, such as Serbia, Bulgaria, and Greece, sought to break free from the control of the declining Ottoman Empire and establish independent states. However, these aspirations clashed with the territorial ambitions of neighboring powers, particularly Austria-Hungary and Russia. The assassination of Archduke Franz Ferdinand of Austria-Hungary in 1914 by a Serbian nationalist triggered a chain of events that led to the outbreak of World War I. The tensions and rivalries among European powers had profound and far-reaching consequences. The assassination in Sarajevo served as a catalyst for the outbreak of war, but the underlying tensions and rivalries were already at boiling point. The war engulfed Europe and ultimately led to the collapse of four major empires: German, Austro-Hungarian, Ottoman, and Russian, and forever reshaped the political landscape. Furthermore, World War I also laid the groundwork for future conflicts and geopolitical shifts. The humiliating Treaty of Versailles imposed on Germany paved the way for simmering resentment and contributed to the rise of totalitarian regimes in the interwar period, eventually leading to World War II. The war also shattered the illusion of European superiority, as it witnessed the emergence of the United States as a global superpower. In conclusion, tensions and rivalries among European powers were key catalysts for the outbreak of World War I. The arms race, territorial disputes, complex system of alliances, and nationalism all played significant roles in escalating the tensions among the major powers. The consequences of the war were immense, reshaping the global order and setting. The assassination of Archduke Franz Ferdinand. The assassination of Archduke Franz Ferdinand, heir to the Austro-Hungarian Empire, on June 28, 1914, in Sarajevo, Bosnia, became the spark that ignited the flames of World War I. This event, although seemingly isolated, was the result of a web of political tensions and rivalries that had been building up across Europe for decades. The Austro-Hungarian Empire, often referred to as the dual monarchy, faced numerous challenges during the early 20th century. Its diverse population, composed of different ethnic and linguistic groups, struggled for autonomy and recognition. One of the most significant movements seeking independence was the Serbian nationalist movement, which aimed to unite all Serbs within a single, independent state. Gavrilo Princip, a 19-year-old Serbian nationalist affiliated with the secret society known as the Black Hand, assassinated Archduke Franz Ferdinand during his visit to Sarajevo. Princip saw this act as an opportunity to strike a blow against the oppressive Austro-Hungarian rule and provoke a wave of nationalist sentiment across the Balkans. The assassination of Franz Ferdinand escalated the existing tensions between Serbia and Austria-Hungary to an unprecedented level. Austria-Hungary saw the murder as a deliberate act by the Serbian government to destabilize their rule in the region. As a result, they presented Serbia with a series of harsh ultimatums, demanding that the Serbian government investigate and punish those responsible for the assassination. Serbia, backed by its powerful ally Russia, refused to comply with all of Austria-Hungary's demands, prompting Austria-Hungary to declare war on Serbia on July 28, 1914. This declaration of war set off a diplomatic chain reaction, resulting in various European powers taking sides and declaring war on each other. The stage was now set for the Great War. The consequences of Archduke Franz Ferdinand's assassination were far-reaching. The conflict that erupted after his death cascaded into a massive global war involving over 30 countries and ultimately claimed the lives of millions of people. World War I transformed the geopolitical landscape of Europe and set the stage for even greater conflicts to come. One of the key factors contributing to the global nature of World War I was the complex system of alliances that had been formed among European powers. These alliances, designed to provide security in case of war, proved to be a double-edged sword. In response to Austria-Hungary's declaration of war on Serbia, Serbia's ally Russia mobilized its forces. This prompted Germany to declare war on Russia and its ally France, while also invading neutral Belgium. The domino effect continued as Britain, bound by treaties, entered the war to defend Belgium. The assassination of Archduke Franz Ferdinand not only revealed the fragility of European diplomacy but also exposed the deep-rooted rivalries and nationalistic aspirations that were simmering beneath the surface. It shattered the illusion of lasting peace in Europe and demonstrated the destructive power of modern warfare. In conclusion, the assassination of Archduke Franz Ferdinand served as the catalyst for a conflict of unprecedented scale and devastation. The event itself was the culmination of political tensions and nationalist aspirations that had been building up for years. The consequences of this assassination rippled across the globe, forever altering the course of history and leading to the outbreak of World War I. The alliance system and the domino effect. One of the key factors that contributed to the outbreak of World War I was the complex system of alliances that had been established among the major powers of Europe. The alliance system, which aimed to maintain a balance of power, inadvertently set the stage for a domino effect that rapidly escalated the conflict. In the late 19th and early 20th centuries, Europe was divided into two main alliances, the Triple Entente and the Central Powers. The Triple Entente consisted of France, Russia, and Great Britain, while the Central Powers included Germany, Austria-Hungary, and Italy, which later switched sides. These alliances were formed in an effort to deter potential aggression and conflicts between nations, but ironically, they inadvertently created an intricate web of relationships that would ultimately lead to a devastating war. Triggered by the assassination of Archduke Franz Ferdinand of Austria-Hungary, the alliance system immediately came into play when Austria-Hungary sought support from Germany to take action against Serbia, whom they held responsible for the assassination. Germany, confident in the backing of their ally, issued an ultimatum to Serbia, which in turn sought assistance from their ally, Russia. Russia, not willing to abandon Serbia, began mobilizing its troops. Seeing this as a threat to its ally, Germany declared war on Russia and its ally, France. In response, France invoked its alliance with Russia, leading to a full-scale mobilization of troops and the declaration of war on Germany. Meanwhile, Germany devised a plan to quickly defeat France and then turn its full attention to Russia. However, this plan required Germany to pass through the neutral country of Belgium, which prompted Great Britain, as a guarantor of Belgian neutrality, to declare war on Germany for its violation. As the conflict began to escalate, more nations were drawn into the abyss of war due to their alliances. Italy, originally an ally of Germany and Austria-Hungary, decided to remain neutral initially. However, as the war progressed, Italy switched sides and joined the Triple Entente in 1915, hoping to gain territory from Austria-Hungary. The knock-on effect of this decision further weakened the Central Powers. The alliance system did much more than just trigger the beginning of the war. It also created a sense of obligation among the nations involved. Each country felt the need to honor its alliances and protect its allies, regardless of the righteousness of the cause. This led to the rapid spread of the conflict, as one nation's declaration of war inevitably pulled its allies into the fray. Furthermore, the alliance system also contributed to the duration of the war. As the major powers became more deeply involved, their respective colonies and dominions were automatically drawn in as well, leading to a truly global conflict. The domino effect of the alliance system not only heightened the scale of World War I but also severely limited the possibilities for a peaceful resolution. In conclusion, the intricate web of alliances established among the major powers in Europe was one of the principal causes of World War I. The alliance system created a domino effect as one nation's declaration of war led to the involvement of its allies, rapidly escalating the conflict. This system not only triggered the war but also ensured its prolonged and global nature, contributing to the devastating consequences that would shape the world for years to come. Industrialization and militarization of nations. The period leading up to World War I witnessed a dramatic increase in industrialization and militarization among nations worldwide. As countries sought to establish their dominance and secure economic, political, and military power, they embarked on a relentless pursuit of technological advancements, allowing for the rapid development and expansion of industries and armed forces. This section delves into the underlying factors that influenced the industrialization and militarization of nations during this crucial time and explores the far-reaching consequences it had on the outbreak of World War I. Industrialization served as a catalyst for the transformation of economies, societies, and military capabilities. Rapid advancements in technology saw the rise of factories and the incorporation of machinery in various sectors, revolutionizing manufacturing methods and increasing productivity. This shift brought about significant economic growth, leading to the accumulation of wealth and the ability to invest in military capabilities. Countries recognized that the industrial sector was intrinsically linked to their defense capabilities, and thus, they directed substantial resources towards expanding their arsenals. Notably, major powers such as Germany, the United Kingdom, France, and the United States spearheaded the Industrial Revolution, leaving their mark on the global stage. Germany, in particular, emerged as a formidable industrial powerhouse, thanks to its prowess in heavy industry and its emphasis on scientific research and development. This rapid industrialization not only bolstered the German economy but also fueled its militarization efforts, enabling the nation to challenge existing power structures. Militarization, while interlinked with industrialization, had distinct drivers of its own. The rise of nationalism and the quest for empire building created an environment of competition and rivalry among nations. Governments recognized the significance of a strong military in safeguarding their interests, ensuring territorial integrity, and expanding their influence. As a result, military spending soared, and armies were expanded and modernized. The arms race, particularly between the major powers of Europe, played a pivotal role in the militarization of nations. Political alliances and hostilities further stoked the desire to outdo one another in terms of military might. Countries aimed to surpass their adversaries in terms of the number of troops, naval vessels, and cutting-edge weaponry. The notion of bigger is better prevailed, leading to an intensified arms race that propelled nations further towards conflict. The industrialization and militarization of nations had profound consequences, setting the stage for the outbreak of World War I. The increasingly interconnected global economy created heightened competition for resources, markets, and influence. The race for colonies and territories for raw materials and strategic advantages fostered tensions between imperial powers, ultimately inflaming conflicts. Furthermore, the arms race greatly contributed to the growing sense of insecurity and paranoia among nations. As each country sought to protect itself and assert dominance over its adversaries, The potential for misunderstanding, miscalculations, and accidental war grew exponentially. The militaristic culture that emerged with the Industrial Revolution further exacerbated these dynamics, as military leaders wielded considerable influence over political decision-making, often advocating for aggressive actions. In conclusion, the period leading up to World War I saw the industrialization and militarization of nations reach unprecedented heights. Industrial advancements propelled economic growth, which, in turn, significantly fueled military expansion. The rising nationalism, political alliances, and arms race further intensified the desires for power and security. The consequences of this era of industrialization and militarization were far-reaching, ultimately contributing to the outbreak of World War I, forever changing the trajectory of history. The worldwide impact of World War I. World War I, also known as the Great War, had profound and far-reaching consequences that reverberated throughout the globe. The conflict, which lasted from 1914 to 1918, involved major world powers and drew in countries from every continent. While the war originated in Europe, its impact was felt across the world, ultimately reshaping the political, social, and economic landscapes of numerous nations. This section will delve into some of the key areas in which World War I left an indelible mark. First and foremost, World War I led to an unprecedented loss of human life on a global scale. With the use of new and more lethal weapons, a staggering number of military personnel and civilians were killed, wounded, or displaced. An estimated 17 million people died as a direct result of the war, leaving behind devastated families and communities. The massive loss of life forever changed the perception of war and laid the groundwork for subsequent conflicts. The war also brought about a significant shift in global power dynamics. Prior to the outbreak of World War I, Europe largely maintained its status as the dominant force in international affairs. However, the war weakened the European powers and paved the way for the rise of the United States as a global superpower. The United States emerged from the conflict not only as an economic powerhouse but also as a major political player, leading to a reconfiguration of the global power structure. Furthermore, World War I played a critical role in redefining national boundaries and reshaping the political map of Europe and the world. The collapse of empires, such as the Austro-Hungarian, Ottoman, German, and Russian empires, led to the creation of new nation-states and the redrawing of borders. The establishment of new nations, along with the disintegration of traditional power structures, fueled ethnic tensions and nationalist aspirations, which would later contribute to the outbreak of conflicts in the interwar period and beyond. The war also had a profound impact on societal norms and cultural practices. The unprecedented scale of destruction and loss of life shattered the optimism and idealism of the pre-war era. Traditional values and institutions were called into question, and a sense of disillusionment spread throughout society. This cultural shift led to the emergence of new artistic and literary movements, such as Dadaism and Surrealism, as artists and writers sought to express the absurdity and devastation of the war. Economically, World War I left a lasting impact on nations around the world. The war effort required vast amounts of resources and finances, leading to soaring levels of debt for many countries. In order to finance the war, governments resorted to borrowing, printing more money, and imposing heavy taxes on their populations. This had long-term fiscal consequences, including inflation and economic instability, which continued to haunt nations even after the war had ended. In conclusion, the impact of World War I was not limited to the European continent but reverberated across the globe. The scale of the conflict, the loss of life, the reconfiguration of power dynamics, the redrawing of borders, the cultural and societal transformations, and the economic consequences all left an enduring mark on nations and peoples for generations to come. World War I was a cataclysmic event that would shape the course of the 20th century and beyond, a stark reminder of the devastating consequences of global conflict. In conclusion, World War I was a monumental event that reshaped the world in countless ways. The causes of the war can be traced back to a complex web of alliances, aggressive nationalism, and intense rivalries among the great powers. The far-reaching consequences of the war extended beyond Europe, with empires crumbling, borders being redrawn, and the rise of new ideologies that would shape the course of history for decades to come. The great upheaval of World War I was not just a military conflict but a catalyst for immense societal, political, and economic changes. Understanding the causes and consequences of this war is crucial in comprehending the subsequent events that have greatly influenced our world today. Please like and subscribe the channel for more informative videos.